So the only way to finish this now is our tips for round one. Not much to say. Let's just get straight into it. Richmond Carlton, Thursday night at the MCG. Um, Not tipping Richmond. I don't think I'd be shocked if anyone did. Being a Carlton fan, pump even more bias into the prediction. I think we're going to dispatch of them very comfortably, even without Charlie Curnow. If Charlie Curnow was there, the margin might look a bit ridiculous in terms of my prediction. However, we're just going to stick safe. I say safe. I think we're going to win by at least 10 goals. Uh, how far can I push this without it being ridiculous? 75 points. I think Carlton win by 75 points. But you never know. Like the whole time that Carlton were in the dumps and Richmond were the best team in the comp, basically, we kind of kept it competitive with them. Like it never felt like it went over 5 goals, 6 goals. But that being said, Richmond are a lot worse now, I think, than what Carlton ever were in that rebuild period. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Hawthorn Essendon. Now, obviously, I predicted Hawthorn to go 1-5 to start the year. They've already won one game. So if I tip Hawthorn here, they're 2-4. Oh, they've already won two, rather. I'm not going to go back on what I said about this game just to make that bold prediction right, because I did say the one game they would win out of that first six was this game. And I think they will win it. And I think they'll win it pretty comfortably. Essendon, like I had them 11th in my ladder prediction, and I don't think they're going to be that bad this year. But this feels like one of those games where a fast-moving Hawthorn team might make a bit of a fool out of the Bombers, in my opinion. Like Hawthorn have the ability to do that to any team, I think. So that being said, I think they're going to win this pretty comfortably. I'm going to go with a 36-point win over the Bombers. Geelong Freo. Whoa, massive game. Massive game to start off the year for these two teams. I've got them both quite high. I've got Freo fourth, Geelong fifth. I think Freo need a big start to the year. I think they need a big start to the year. And I think this is the perfect kind of game for them to make a statement to start this year. I've talked them up a lot. And I think I'd be a little bit unsure, uneasy if they were to lose this game by a big margin. So I think it's going to be close, and I think the Dockers are just going to get over the line by 10 points. Sydney, Brisbane. Didn't love what I saw from Sydney in the opening round. I'm interested to see how Dean Cox tactically adjusts for this game because Brisbane are obviously a massive team, a massive opponent to come up against. It's going to be very interesting. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. I don't think it will be. Ah, I'm tipping Brisbane. I'm just thinking of the margin because there's grand final demons as well. I'm going to tip Brisbane by 30 points. It feels like a decent middle ground in my opinion because I think Brisbane could easily pump them given what happened at the end of last year and whatnot, but they could easily force themselves into a close game as well, depending on how Sydney adjust. Maybe I just have too much faith in the Swans. But we'll see. Bulldogs North, it looks like a lot of people are tipping the Bulldogs, but like I said in my latter prediction, I've got the Bulldogs bottom four for a reason, and it's because I just don't love how they're shaping to start the year. They're missing five very crucial players, and it's almost at a point now where I look at these two teams on paper, and I actually think North might be better on paper, like irrespective of morale issues and injury issues and anything. I'm tipping North. And I'm actually tipping them pretty comfortably. I think they're going to win this by 25 points, and start the season off on a flyer. Collingwood, Port Adelaide. Interesting. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot at the MCG on Saturday. 37 degrees in Melbourne. Collingwood didn't play well in those humid conditions against the Giants, but at home, against Port, who I don't think are going to be outstanding by any means. I think Port win the midfield battle for sure. I think it's going to be close again. But I think if Collingwood want to do anything this year, they can't have the start that they have last year, or that they had last year, rather. Because even starting 0-2, it's starting to get really dicey at that point straight away. But I'm doing it. I'm tipping Port Adelaide, 13 points. Could live to regret that one. Adelaide St Kilda. Interesting. Adelaide Oval for me tips it over the line pretty comfortably, although I think Adelaide are a better team. Anyway, I think they beat him out of the middle. I think their forward line looks really good. And I don't think the Saints attacking power is enough to cause any damage. I think it's going to be low scoring because I think the Saints are very good defensively, but I think the Crows are going to win this by 16 points. Melbourne GWS, I think this one's very straightforward for me. Like the Giants, as I said, they're my favorite to win it all. Pretty comfortably. Melbourne had them 14th. I don't think they're in for a great year. It'll be nice to see Petrarca and Oliver back together, though. Hopefully, they can refine that form that had them performing so well as a duo. However, I think the Giants will be too much on this occasion, and I think they'll win this by 40 points. And then West Coast Gold Coast. I think this is the last game of the round. It is. It definitely is. Um, yeah. Gold Coast away. First test of the year. Perhaps one of the easier away tests in the league. However, got to start winning away if you want to make it, if you're the Gold Coast Suns. So I think they're going to do it, and I think they're going to start their away form for the year very well. And I think they're going to win this pretty comfortably by 32 points. Massive game to start off next week, but we'll talk about that ahead of round two. Those are my tips for round one.